Notations, Murray State University's annual student-run literary magazine, publishes poetry, fiction, creative nonfiction, and artwork. All work is produced, selected, and published by Murray State students. Dr. Carrie Jarrell serves as faculty advisor to the publication and joins us now to explain the process of putting together the magazine. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So can you tell us a little bit about the process of putting it all together?
Sure. So students from all over campus are invited in the fall to submit work to the Notations editing team. And the editors are made up usually of English students, although students from any major are allowed to work on the magazine if they'd like. And then we meet usually 2 or 3 times early fall once we have all the submissions to talk about which ones we'd like to select and figure out the page count and to see what we've gotten in our submission pool, whether we've gotten a lot of fiction or creative nonfiction or poetry. It's always interesting to see how it changes from year to year, how some years we get submissions in one genre more than another. And it gives all of the students who work on it, I think, a sense of what it's like to collaborate and work together as a team on figuring out what your kind of aesthetic preferences are. You know, some students may like a story better than other students, and so they have to kind of find a compromise in accepting what they want to accept. And so it's good for students to work like that because even if they don't ever work on a literary magazine again, they'll have to do that in one way or another in their career and in their life. So that's how the process works in the fall, and then we usually send out acceptances when we come back from Christmas break, and that's when the art and design students really sort of take over. And we meet with them, the editors meet with them, and they talk to us about what they might like to do with the design this year compared to last year, any kind of changes that we have, any sort of trends in literary magazines that the students might want to try to incorporate. And then they send us edits as they go, and we give them feedback on it. And then our goal is always to get it printed and ready to go before the end of the school year. And we're usually coming down to the wire, but it's nice to be able to distribute it across campus so that people can read it.
It sounds like a lot of hard work goes into putting this together. How many people come together to do it?
It varies. So this year's publishing team, we had 3 managing editors, all of them either second semester juniors or seniors, and then we had 5 additional assistant editors who read things. But sometimes we've had more students, sometimes we've had fewer. It really sort of fluctuates. And the design students who work on it, I believe usually there are maybe between 5 and 10 of them who work on different aspects of the magazine. Some will work more on the cover, some work more on gathering art from art students to include in the magazine. So they've all got different jobs too.
Yeah. So what's the balance like within the book between all the different genres of
Right.
work?
Well, we usually try to distribute the pages so that all of the genres are well represented. But again, sometimes it depends on what we get in our submissions. If we don't get a lot of creative nonfiction, then we may only have one piece to include, or we might get lots of poems, and so we feel like we want to take more so that more student voices are represented. But usually the manuscript is usually around 80-ish, 60 to 80-ish pages. Sometimes it's a little smaller. I think it'll be a little smaller this year. But it's nice to have that flexibility too, and not feel like we have to fill up the pages or we have to cut them back if we want to.
Yeah. So finally, when does this book come out, and where can we find it?
Well, we're hoping that it will be out before the end of the semester. And the last couple of years, we've distributed all over campus. So there will be copies in, of course, the English department and the art department, in the lobbies. The copies are free. But we also put them in all of the other buildings in campus. So if there are any sort of gathering places for students. We try to put them there. We take some to the residential colleges. And then usually we try to get them out in the community a little bit where we think people who are interested in reading or who have time to read will pick one up. So things like the coffee shops in town, doctors' offices they're a good place because people are kind of waiting around and looking for something to read. So we try to get some copies of it in those areas as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks.